Hello, hello, and welcome to the Connecting Point. I am Dr. Marcy, your facilitator for this discussion today. This is the place where creators connect to inspire, share their ideas and stories, to transform the world through raw and unedited talk. Now, audience, we got some goodies for you today, especially those who are parents or aspiring to be parents to get ready for something. But I'm here with my sister from another mother. Yes. Let me tell you how she's my sister. That's the name of this platform, the Connecting Point. I got to give it to you. Well, she is sister by marriage. She is married to my brother from another mother. Yes. And so that is how we met. But she's also an educator like myself. We're in the trenches. Yes. Day in and day out. Day in and day out. And we're here to shed some light. She's here to shed more light on it because she knows a little more about that high school arena. I'm not too up on, but she knows more about that. So we're going to try to help out today with this discussion, and we'll tell you more about it in a moment. Her name is Adrianne Stroud. Welcome to the Connecting Point, Adrianne.
Thank you so much for having me. So good to see you.
Yes. We got one more week before it's over.
This it for me. I go back next Tuesday. So okay.
So
one more week.
Yeah, it's a week. It's 1 week exactly.
1 week today. Yep.
1 week today. And of course, this is pre-recorded, so they might see it later, but the information will still be good.
Right.
Adrianne, can you tell the audience a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and where you are now?
Okay. So my name is Adrianne Stroud, formerly Adrianne Harris, just in case some people see this who know me before marriage. I am originally from Decatur, Georgia. My family moved to Stone Mountain around 1996. So I made the middle school transition to a new location. And I'm currently back in Stone Mountain. So I lived in Albany Southwest Georgia from about 2006 up until late 2020. And so my husband and I made the transition back up this way and towards the end of 2020.
And tell them what your specialty is in education.
So my specialty is I'm certified 6 through 12. I've primarily worked in the high schools. I've taught every grade except 11th. So I understand how 9th grade works, 10th grade works, 12th grade works. And I've also had the privilege of teaching some SAT and ACT prep courses, and also a journalism course. And my journalism course focuses on the creation of the school's yearbook.
Oh, so did you hear her area? So English is her niche.
English
is her niche. So audience, we're here though to prepare for something that is very important in the educational system. And I would say, unfortunately, it's something we just got to do.
Right.
I know there are conversations about whether there should be standardized testing and all this. My personal belief is I think no. There are so many other ways to measure what a child can learn besides standardized testing. However, the system that we're in, we're going to have to learn how to navigate in it.
Right.
And so Adrianne's here to help parents navigate through something that their students are going to have to do. Elementary, middle, and high, actually. Mm-hmm. But when they get to this high school leg of the race, there's some things that you as parents need to know so that your children will not get to their 12th grade year and you're like, what?
Right.
What are we gonna do? Okay. So first of all, Adrianne, let's talk a little bit about the CCRP and I.
Okay.
What is that? I know
Yeah.
you have heard, it comes out in the newspaper,
Mhm.
how well your district is doing, how well the school system is doing in your county.
Right.
What is it?
All right, so your CCRPI is just a measuring index. It does measure individual schools, it measures the district, and it also measures the state. And what they are measuring is how well the students are prepared for college and careers. So once they leave high school, there is a measure that your individual schools and districts should have met to say, hey, these particular students coming from this particular school and this particular district are ready or are not ready for the next leg of the race, which for most students is college, career, and then the military.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is on a scale of 0 to 100. And it has four main components that they are measuring, these three different entities. And that is your achievement, progress. They look at the achievement gap, and then they have a category that's called challenge points.
Mm-hmm.
In each school and each district, they are able to, again, earn on a scale of 0 to 100, and they are able to earn 10 points beyond that 100 in various categories.
Okay, so parents, it's just a measuring tool. It's
Right.
nothing to be afraid of for your student.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is just something that will show you as the parent where your student lies, where your child lies in this educational system. But I do want to say, because of who I am, I'm an integrationist. And I believe every child and every person is smart somewhere. Do not let the measurement negate the fact that your child is smart. I don't care what
Right.
the data says. But like I said before, learn to navigate in the system where the data is.
Right.
So that our children can be successful in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now with that being said, Adrianne, what are some
Yes.
things that you can help parents learn to do, or tell them how they can help their students or their children navigate? What are some
Okay.
things to start the school year off that they can plan for?
Okay. So one of the things that the CCRPI tells you is whether or not your child is performing or achieving at college and career levels. So one thing parents can do is, check your kids' records. I know that seems like it's obvious, but you would be surprised how many students or parents do not know what courses their students are taking. They do not know what the students have previously made in similar courses. So I teach ELA. You'd be surprised how many students and teachers and even parents aren't aware of the performance from the previous year for specific students. So as a parent, most schools now are using some type of system like Infinite Campus.
Mm-hmm.
And in Infinite Campus, it does have a transcript portal, even for your lower level students, your elementary and middle schoolers. It has a transcript, and it tells you what your child made in the different courses that they took over the span of the various years, and it also gives you grades. So, and then at the high school level, it lets you know if they've earned credits. So we know
Very
as
important.
previous high school, graduates, we know those credits start counting in ninth grade. And parents, you've got to make sure your kids are earning the credits they need to graduate. I teach 12th graders, and we have so many students, and I mean, it's quite a few who don't make the benchmarks ninth grade. They don't earn enough credits 10th grade. They don't earn enough credits 11th grade. So 12th grade year comes around and they're trying to make up 7, 8, 9 classes before they graduate. And just checking those transcripts will help you as the parent know exactly where your child is. And then you can reach out to the school counselors, which is point 2. Get in contact with your child's counselor. That information is also on Infinite Campus. The way ours is set up, that information appears at the top of the screen, along with classifications and that type of information. And they are an email or a phone call away. They will let you know if your child is on track. They'll also let you know if your child is not on track, and then what opportunities the school is providing to catch those kids up. In today's, go ahead.
Go ahead and finish your point.
Okay. So in today's era of education, parents, there are so many avenues of credit recovery that are not currently available for students. I know when I was a student, all we had was summer school.
That's
You
it.
could go to summer school and make up credits. You all in the district where I am, they have in-house credit recovery. They have open campus. They have night school.
All kind of ways.
We have tutoring session they can do at home or with the teacher. We have a credit recovery program at the end of like maybe 2 weeks out from graduation. Maybe a kid failed a course at the last minute and they need to recover that class. It's just so many resources and avenues that the students of today have to make sure they're on track and that they stay on track. And as a parent, you want to be aware of what those resources are in your individual child's school and district, so that should you need those resources, you know how to assess them and get your child what he or she needs.
And to piggyback off of what you're saying about the resources that are there, so often I've heard parents complain, but I didn't know. We can't keep using that excuse, people. Now, Adrianne gonna be a little nice how she says, but y'all know I'm gonna just keep it T-tone real with you. I'm just gonna break it down. Stop making excuses. Open up the Infinite Campus. Do it on a week. If you can't do it every other day, do it on a weekly basis at least.
Yes.
Set one day. It could be Saturday, whatever day that you can sit down and check it out. Check out the behavior reports, all of that, because you don't even know your child cutting up in class.
Right.
Okay. So you need to keep your eyes on that Infinite Campus. Not only that, talk with your child.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many parents that do not have a conversation to see, does your child understand what they're doing in class? Do you need additional support? Do I need to come up there and speak with someone on your behalf, or to understand what you're doing so I can help you at home? Which is, listen, parents, let's be real. Education is not like it was when we were coming up. That math is different. The language is different. Technology is different. So if you need help, the teachers are there to support you, but there are people in the building in K through 12 that you can reach out to for help.
Right.
We just want you to make sure that you are staying in tune with what is going on with your child and not getting to the end and coming there to cuss everybody out. I'm just going to say it.
Right.
And I've seen it elementary, middle, and high level. Same thing in elementary. When they get to 5th grade, don't come up there cursing, saying, y'all didn't do this or this, that, and the third. Did you check out what was going on at school?
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. So Adrianne, you gave us point 1 and point 2.
And on that note, you make sure your updated information is available to the school. We have so many parents who aren't keeping tabs on what's going on at the school because the school does not have the updated information. I know our school, every year before they distribute computers, the parents have to go in and update any address changes, any phone number changes. Do you have a new email address, so that on our end we can contact you should we need to inform you of what's going on and make you aware of how your child is performing, whether that's good or bad. All phone calls from teachers are not bad
Right,
phone calls.
right.
We
They
do
should
try
be.
to reach out and make sure that that you know who we are, and that if your child is doing well, we call home for that too. We're not always calling home with doom and gloom that your child is not on task. So please make sure that that information is updated with your child's school, and make sure you've downloaded all of the apps associated with your child's school. Infinite Campus is an app on the
Yes,
cell phone.
yes.
It will notify you when a teacher updates grades, when the teacher updates attendance. We've had parents call and say, well, I didn't know my child wasn't in class. Well, ma'am, every day I take attendance, it dings, it lets the students know. My students like, Miss Stroud, I'm here, I'm here. You
Uh-huh.
mark me absent, because they're getting those notifications
Mhm.
because they have it downloaded on their phone. So that's just another thing parents can do before the school year begins. Go ahead and make sure you have that Infinite Campus or whatever tool your school uses to keep grades and attendance and that type of thing, so that you are aware on a consistent basis, as often as the teacher is making changes, what's going on with your child. That will keep you in the loop without you even having to go to the school.
Right.
It's dinging. It's letting you know Johnny made a 66. Susie made a 95, and you are able to see exactly what is going on in the classroom. At our school, we have to input 2 grades a week. So, like
Mhm.
Marcy was saying, twice, check it twice a week, at least once a week, you should see some changes
Mhm.
on your end as the parent. And if not, another point, reach out.
Reach
You
out. It's
have the right
listen.
as a parent to reach out to the teacher. You have a right to reach out to the counselors. You have a right to reach out to the admin staff. You have a right to reach out to the
That's right.
technology people. And somebody is going to get you where you need to go to help you answer those questions that you need, concerning your child's behavior, concerning your child's academic performance. Are they on track? We are here to serve the students. And as a part of that servitude to the student, we are serving you as the parents. We
Mhm.
want to keep you all in the loop, because it's a team effort. We can only do so much in the classroom, and then you guys have a part to play as well at home.
Absolutely. And let's focus a little bit on high school now.
Okay.
Uh your child, I can just about bet they already know in their heart what they want to do. They might not be able to articulate it as such, but if you're having frequent conversations with your child, if they want to go to college,
Right.
if they want to just focus on career, if they want to go to the military, if you're having these conversations. And
Mhm.
as a parent, your role is to help them, like I said earlier, navigate
Right.
to the purpose that they had, the goal that they had. And
Mhm.
I'm going to give you, for instance, I knew early in life what both of my children wanted to do when they were in elementary school. Why? Because I had conversations. So I knew the school, first of all, that I needed to look at them going to, because that makes a difference too. I know you're in zone, but you have some autonomy,
Right.
you know. Also looking at their coursework. Is this coursework aligned with what the goals are for my
Right.
child? And it's okay, like Adrianne said, to reach out to the counselor. The counselor really can help you with
Mhm.
those things. And scholarships. There's money available for your child to go to college, but you can't start and wait till the last minute,
Right.
because those grades have to also help them get these scholarships.
Right.
So you've got to start working on that like now.
Right.
I just wanted to point that out because I can't say it enough now. now.
Right.
That's why we're on here, so that you get a head start with the school year. Now, Adrianne, is there another point you have?
Well, one thing they can do is sit down with their kid before the year starts and set some goals. You know, what currently is your child wanting to do? And what are those goals that they have for the upcoming school year? And how can you help them navigate and achieve those goals as a parent? Do you need to put them in some special programs? Are the classes and courses that they're taking for the upcoming year aligning with those goals to ensure that they get the maximum amount of support from the educational system to reach those goals? And they shouldn't be so general as, well, I just want to make all A's. What are those goals as it relates to college and career? You know, are they planning on going to a 2-year university? Do they want to go to a 4-year university? Do they want to go to college? Do they want to go to the military? Because each one of those components has different entries and different means into getting into those various components that parents and students need to be aware of now. Like Marcy said, now, if your child is going into the 9th grade, this is the time where those grades and GPAs begin to count towards college, career, military, 2-year, 4-year scholarships. And if they get behind in 9th grade, it is a doozy. It's a doozy to catch up. I had kids make straight A's and their GPAs did not move senior year. And they were, of course, like shocked. Well, why is it not moving? Because you just did not perform previously to help it move. You performed one semester and you thought your GPA was going to jump up to a 3.5, and grades don't work like that. So make sure you're having those conversations, especially parents who are having kids going into the high school for the first time, that the student and you are aware of what courses they are taking, how do they align to the future goals of your kid, and what you guys plan on doing as parents to those children, with, again, 2-year, 4-year, college, military. I had a student last year, he wanted to go to the military and couldn't get the ASVAB score. But he decided last minute to go to the military, so he wasn't even really, prepared to take the exam. So those are the things I'm seeing on the teacher's side. The students don't have goals that they are locking in early and revisiting and revamping as their life changes, as their interests change, as the world around them changes and they see they want to do other things. There's no support on the goal side to help them keep up with those changes so that they can maximize their high school experience.
And, I'm going to give another example, a personal example. My children were always taught to be the first one responsible and then come see me. And so if there's a class or something that you're seeing that's not quite what you need to be doing, I'm going to let you have that opportunity to go speak with the teacher or the counselor yourself. Now, if you don't get results, then I'll come.
Right.
But what that did was build up their confidence in taking responsibility for their own grades and for their own path. And that follows them into college, because I can tell you now, my daughter had a conversation with me not long ago, and she said, one of the instructors in college is telling me to take this path. She said, but Mama, that's not my goal. My goal is this, because she knew her goal before she got to college. She said, it sounds good, but that's not my goal. And then so I said, well, let me see it. And when I looked at the coursework, I knew then too, I said, this is not her. It does sound good.
Right.
It has the word art in it, but she's already articulated her goals to me, of which I accept. I didn't try to put my own goals on her. Hint. Thank you. I let her decide what she wanted to do. And so she knew to reject that. But if you're not having these conversations and where your children feel confident enough to walk in what they have, the decision they have decided on their career path or school, college path, then you're going to have problems with it later. So it is so important. It's vital that you instill those, things in your children so that they are not always leaning on mom and dad. I know we love our kids, but we are training them to fly.
Right.
Okay. And so just keep in mind, parents, it doesn't just start when they go off.
Mm-hmm.
It starts now. So let's keep that in mind. Now, Adrianne, can you also talk to parents a little bit about how attendance impacts graduation?
Okay, so attendance, of course, if the students aren't there, then they're not going to get the information that they need to keep up in the individual courses. We do offer tutoring. Most teachers have some type of office hour where they're tutoring students. Our school had a built-in 20 minutes where students could, visit the teachers online or visit teachers in classroom to get their additional support. So the support is there if for whatever reason they have to be out. Parents, if your student is out, you do need to contact the school or have your child contact. I've had so many students reach out. Hello, Mrs. Stroud, via email. They don't call. Hello, Mrs. Stroud, I'm going to be out today. I'm going to be out for the next 2 days. I'm not feeling well, or this, that, and the other is going on. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I provide them with what we are doing. So when they get back, they're not that behind. They may need a little instruction, but they're at least aware of what's going on. So they're not behind. So attendance is a huge thing on the side of instruction. If they're not there, they can't hear what's going on. Their peers are not reliable. Even if they're sitting in the classroom, they just are not reliable as it pertains to relaying information.
Mm-hmm.
So you do want to make sure your child is connecting with the teacher, when they are out, whether it be before they have an absence or after they have an absence, so that both the student and the teacher can be in communication on what can be done so that the child is not behind.
And I will say this, there have been multiple cases of parents wanting their children to graduate, got to that 12th grade year and realized they hadn't been to school.
Mm-hmm.
Can't graduate. That's heartbreaking for a parent. So to prevent heartbreak, going back to this infinite campus.
Right.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Parents, you'll drop your kid off and they'll walk around the building all day.
Don't come to class.
They won't go to class. And yes, you can say, well, they came. I know they came, but they didn't show up to class. And where they are, we don't know. Of course, if they're skipping, they're not going to walk past my room if they're supposed to be in there skipping. Right. So they're navigating and ducking and diving and leaving campus. So parents, if you have children who are driving, you may want to talk about the importance of staying on campus when they're supposed to be on campus, the liability between the school and the student and the parent of leaving campus when they're supposed to be on campus. We do our best as a school to make sure those kids who need to leave to go to other campuses associated with our school, that they have an opportunity to leave, but it opens up a floodgate for the students who aren't supposed to leave, who want to go catch Uber or who want to leave to go get food or who want to go to leave and hang out. So that's another important conversation. If you have juniors and seniors, students who are able to drive to campus, that you get those rules and regulations from the school. What are they allowed to do? What are they not allowed to do? And that their schedule, so that they're not leaving campus and telling you one thing when they actually should be sitting in someone's class. That information is on Infinite Campus. Another thing I wanted to share, make sure you go to open house.
Yes.
Open house is you can get a jump start and look at your child's schedule for the upcoming year. I've already caught on my end as a teacher some errors in scheduling that I've made my administration aware of, but there are some things as a parent you may catch that, me as an educator or the teacher, I won't catch because I don't look at all transcripts. I just don't have time to look at 90 plus students' transcripts. But these were elective classes that I was able to catch and I was able to notify. So as a parent, your kid may not need 11th grade lit if they went to summer school.
That's right.
I had the instance, I had a student, she was in journalism 1, but she passed the course. So you all need to move her to journalism 2 or give her another elective. I had one student failed journalism 1. They had her in journalism 2. I'm like, guys, that's not right. So I can catch some of those things. Parents, if you've signed your child up for dual enrollment, make sure you understand how that works and how it impacts their GPA, how it impacts graduation. When are they supposed to be off campus? Because you have another line of communication as a parent, and they have one as a student that they've got to keep up with. They are actually talking to college professors, and how that work gets submitted and the deadlines associated with those assignments is much different than if they were sitting in a high school classroom. So there are a lot of intricate details that open house will provide you if you show up.
If they're having grade. No, we're not going to say if. When you show up.
When you show up. Attend the grade specific meetings. We have on our calendar already a parent meeting for 9th grade, a parent meeting for 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade, so that by grade we can inform the parents of what the student needs and where they are, and you can ask your questions then. So make sure you are keeping aware of the calendar associated at your child's school. That's on the school's website. So at least once a month, maybe go in and check the school website so that you know what events are coming up that are not just extracurricular, that are academic in nature, so that as a parent, you can show up and ask those questions that you need to get answered, that, your student may not be able to answer, because the students, they get involved in dual enrollment, they get involved in certain advanced courses, and they're there, but they may not have all the information correct. And you as a parent can help, simplify that information to some degree, or just bring some understanding and possibly make some schedule changes. Don't miss the schedule change window.
Yes, because there's a window.
There's a window to change your child's schedule. Ours has already passed, unless there are some issues on our side, which I pointed out with the journalism 1 and 2 students. Those things can be corrected. They're in the wrong courses. They're not going to be on track if they stay in those positions. But our window for signing up for elective courses, that has already passed, and they are not changing schedules. So those are some things, as the school year goes on and you start getting information about scheduling for the upcoming year, make sure you're paying attention, and looking at the school website will help you make sure you're being aware of what's coming up, what's happening in the next week, month, year for your student as it pertains to the academics.
Well, Adrianne, before we get off this,
yes,
can you go over those points one more time for the people in the back?
Okay, so guys, make sure you know your child's goals for the upcoming school year. They don't need to be just academic. Make sure they have some college, career, or military-based specific goals, so that you as a parent know exactly if the courses they are taking align with those goals. Those courses and what they have done can be found on Infinite Campus, which was another point. Make sure that you have Infinite Campus up and running on your cell phone devices, on your computer. Make sure the notifications are on so that you can get instant notifications of what grades your child has, what grades are they in class. Did they skip class? You'll be able to know that information as soon as the teacher inputs it. Beyond that, one thing you guys can do as parents in terms of Infinite Campus is make sure your information is updated at the school. If you have a new cell phone, a new landline, if you're still using those, a new email address, a new home address, the school needs to be aware of that information, so that as correspondence is going out, you can actually get the information. Please go to open house.
Open
Make
it
sure
up.
you know what those days are so that you can meet your child's teachers, so that you can get the schedule. And if there are some changes that need to be made, those changes can be made before school starts, so that there aren't some transitions and shiftings that have to take place after the school year starts, because that is going to put your child behind in those classes where, academic starts on day one. And then make sure you guys are just contacting the school, the counselors, your child's teachers. For me, it's email, calling. Is I just can't get to phones during the day, and once the day is over, there's still 101 things to do. But I can get to emails much
Mhm.
quicker.
Yes.
So make sure you have your child's email, your child's teachers' email addresses. Make sure they know who you are. It's not uncommon for parents to introduce themselves to the teachers and vice versa. We want you guys involved. It is not a closed door policy in education where the parents are kept out of the loop. I think we do an excellent job
Mhm.
of ensuring that parents are up to date on what's going on inside the classrooms. But parents, you've got to do your part. We
Got to
cannot
do
reach
it.
you if the number is wrong. We cannot reach you if the address is wrong. It does not help to come to the school at the last minute concerning your child's progress or lack thereof,
Mhm.
if you haven't been actively involved throughout the school term. So just parent.
Just
If I
be a
have this
parent. That's
coming
it.
up, be a parent, be an actively involved parent, who knows what their child wants, who
Mhm.
knows what it takes to make that happen in terms of academics, and make sure your child is in the right courses and classes. And that, especially if you're going into high school for the first time, parents, that you have that conversation with your child starting in the ninth grade, how important ninth grade is, and then how important it is to keep up with those credits, because you'd be surprised, a lot of students don't understand
Mhm.
credits. And parents, you have college age students who don't understand how
Yes.
college works.
Yes.
So please start having those conversations with your seniors as well. If they are going to a post-secondary institution of some sort, they need to understand how college works, because it's not high school.
It's
So go
not.
ahead and just, I think communication is key. Talk to your child, talk to the teachers, talk to the counselors. Please encourage your children to do the same. This generation, they are techies. They like to live in their phones, and they do not do a great job of verbally communicating
Eddie.
with
Right.
adults. So please kind of set up an atmosphere at your individual homes where they are able to advocate for themselves, because the real world is waiting.
Yes, it's here. It's
And,
here.
and you won't be there, you won't always be there and shouldn't always be there to advocate for them when there are some things they should be doing for themselves.
And I thought of something else that we didn't mention that's
Mhm.
vital as well, and it helped me as a parent, is that course syllabus. Every teacher will have one. If
They
they
sure will.
don't, you need to call administration.
Right.
I'm just saying, you ask for that course syllabus.
Mhm.
And I can't think of a year my children didn't come home with it for me to sign.
Right.
Now, don't just put your signature on it and you didn't read it.
That's right.
You know y'all do that. Y'all do it. Just
That's
hand it
right.
here. Let me just. Some of it look like the children's handwriting. Come on now, look at
Look at
that
it,
course
read
syllabus,
over it, ask
so that you don't
questions.
call up there fussing about something that was in the course syllabus. You know that teacher said if the child is absent, they must submit the work the same day they come back. Don't start
Right.
anybody out and they didn't have the work. Okay,
That's right.
read it. You have a cell phone, take a picture of the syllabus so you can refer back to it in the future if you need to. But come on, parents, we've got to do our part. We cannot just let our children just go out there. Like Adrian just said, it's a lot of things they don't understand. We didn't
Mhm.
understand it. So we're still there. We're parenting. You parent on every level of life. The levels change and the style of parenting changes. So the same way you parent a kindergarten through fifth grade student, you got to change that up in high school. It's another way of parenting. You got to change it up again in college. Got to change it up again when they leave college. But your role as a parent, you were chosen to be that child's parent. They were chosen to be your child. So you're accountable until they are of accountable age. Now I'm gonna say that. Now Adrian, you ought to know me. But I do want to do this, Adrian.
Okay.
I like to leave a point to ponder. And so I'm going to ask you, if you had to leave a point to ponder for our parents and guardians today, what would that be?
I would say make sure you are aware of how your child is feeling. How are they processing the school year once it starts? We are seeing at the high school level, the students are overwhelmed by life. So there are some things going on at home that are impacting the students' day-to-day life that is overwhelming them to the point of not working. So I would say ponder what is going on at home that can be changed, or some minor tweaks that can help your child be more successful once they leave the home. And that takes conversation. So ponder, am I talking to my kids, or am I just letting them be? What are they doing on social media? Like the parent, you just gotta parent and make sure that parenting isn't is it laissez-faire, just kind of hands off, especially with the high schoolers. Don't lead them to their own devices. They're not there yet. I think students need you more in high school than they do in elementary school, because life is changing on them. The influences are greater. The peer pressure is detrimental if left unchecked. So parents, please just talk to your kids. They want to talk to the parents. They want to talk to their guardians, but they feel attacked most of the time. From what I'm hearing, this is just from the conversation.
I'm hearing that too. I'm hearing
it too. They feel attacked. They don't feel heard, and they don't feel like their opinions and feelings are validated. And they may not be, but they want to at least be able to express them. And they want your opinions, but they don't want to feel as if they are being attacked, and that they're being forced to do something they're really just truly not interested in. So put you on the back burner, parents. Hear what your child is saying, even if you have to respond, you know what, let me process what you're saying and go pray. You know, we serve a mighty God who will provide his wisdom upon us to help teach and train and parent these kids. We are in a different age. So no one is faulting any parent for not knowing what to do. These babies do not come with handbooks. And as the world changes and the eras change and the ages change, and the parenting has to change to not necessarily fit the society, but help navigate, you know. And there's nothing wrong with telling your child, you know what, I don't have the answer to that.
That's right.
But I want to find it, so give me some space to do so. Parents, just ponder, what is your communication like with your child, and what can you do to make it better? And if it's good, how do you plan on maintaining that communication line throughout this upcoming school year?
I love it. Y'all have that? Okay. You have some tools to get started. And I am thankful that my sister here has put it down for you now. Now, Adrianne.
Yes.
How can someone contact you to facilitate professional development? Yeah, I said it.
Okay. So I can be reached at my personal email is Harris, Harris, Adrianne, Adrianne, the number 8 at gmail.com. My phone number is 404-422-8656. I can be contacted. If you call me before 8, you will be able to get in contact with me. I'm pretty flexible in terms of being able to, not flexible once I go back to work next week. My life will change next week, guys. But I am available by phone. Of course, leave a message, leave me a contact name and number, and I will most definitely get back to you and with you so that we can touch bases and connect.
And that, I said professional development, but also parenting development to get you ready for what we got to do, y'all. We got to do it together. We just got to do it. And I thank you, Adrianne, again for having this discussion with me. And audience, listen, if you would like to be a part of the discussion on the connecting point, like I say every week, just reach out to me at drmarcyts@gmail.com. Or you may join the Connecting Point for Creators group on Facebook, which is a group of creators of all kinds. It's a point of contact for promotion, for networking, and to receive daily inspiration throughout the week. If that sounds like something you would like to do, send an invite to join. We'd love to have you. This show airs on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Instagram TV, Facebook, Twitter, and on Wednesday nights on KBCN TV, Spotify, and Anchor. All that I ask you to do is click like and what? Share so that others may be inspired. Thanks again, Adrianne. I love you, girl.
Thank you. Love you too.
And until we meet again here in the same place, audience, peace and blessings. Bye-bye.